Imagine if one day, everyone on Earth set aside their forks and chose to go vegan, not just for health, but to ease animal suffering and tackle climate change. People everywhere found their own reasons to turn down a juicy burger, a fluffy omelet, or a creamy slice of pizza. Even ice cream would join the no-go list. Could a plant-based diet actually help save the planet? Would this shift improve public health? And what would happen to all those farm animals? Welcome in How It Happened. Let's explore what would happen if the whole world embraced veganism. In the United States alone, there are now 20 million vegans, a six-fold increase since 2015. Tofu is replacing meat on restaurant menus, and dairy-free milk is filling up supermarket shelves. What was once a radical choice has started to go mainstream. Did you know that animal-based foods contribute a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions? Much of this comes from cattle. In fact, each year, the global cattle population leaves a carbon footprint equal to the emissions of every car, train, ship, and airplane combined. But how exactly does livestock impact global warming? With about 1.5 billion cows worldwide, each releasing up to 120 kilograms of methane annually, the effect on climate is significant. Methane is 23 times more damaging than carbon dioxide. On top of that, cattle use up nearly 2/3 of all agricultural land on the planet. If we all went vegan, we could repurpose much of that pasture land for reforesting and restoring grasslands, helping to absorb carbon dioxide. New crops would replace animal-based foods, and greenhouse gas emissions from livestock could drop by as much as 70%. But then, what would happen to all those farm animals? With no demand for meat, billions of animals might face slaughter or be abandoned. Some, like sheep and pigs, might even be able to return to the wild. But what would happen to all these animals if everyone turned vegan? Some populations, like sheep and pigs, might survive in the wild, though their numbers would naturally decrease due to predators. Other animals, such as broiler chickens, wouldn't be as lucky. Having been bred so far from their wild ancestors, they'd struggle to survive outside farms. Their best chance might be in animal sanctuaries, where they'd live out their lives. The impact on people would be huge as well. Your local butcher would need a new line of work, and so would millions of farmers. Many might switch to growing crops or restoring forests, but large-scale shifts could lead to significant unemployment, especially in rural areas once dependent on dairy, eggs, and meat production. In developing countries, where communities rely heavily on livestock for their livelihood, the disruption would be profound. What about our health? A vegan diet might make many of us healthier, or would it? Without careful planning, a vegan diet can lack vital nutrients, like calcium, iron, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin B12, and omega-3 fatty acids. Without meat, eggs, and cheese as protein staples, people would need to rely on foods like beans, soy, and lentils. But with a well-balanced diet, the world could see a drop in coronary heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Global mortality rates could decrease by up to 10%, potentially preventing 8 million deaths each year and saving up to $1 trillion in healthcare costs. Yet, in many developing countries, where over 2 billion people already face undernourishment, removing meat could worsen malnutrition rather than improve it. A global shift to veganism may seem extreme. However, keeping animal products in our diet means we'll eventually have to confront their environmental impact. Fortunately, clean solutions to reduce emissions from livestock exist and are ready to be implemented. So, would you consider skipping your favorite meatball pasta tonight?